Shikigami would be useless gives her the AP that goes above Max Elephant. And Max Elephant was enough to completely... Yeah, Max Elephant fell on top of her, and that shattered her bug armor. She was out of it after that.
Why do you think random special grade curse is getting one shot with back skill as Sukuna's Max Elephant?
Because they're all Shikigami. Kenjaku says with his knowledge of cursed spirits, he's like, using Shikigami against her is entirely useless. There's no point to it.
Wait, Kenjaku doesn't even have... Wait, where does he say anything about Shikigami? Because I think he's entirely relying on cursed spirits.
Yeah, I can send that for you.
I don't even know if that translation would be accurate then, because he's not really a Shikigami guy, but I'll look at that.
He is a Shikigami guy. He summons cursed spirits.
Yeah, cursed spirits are not Shikigami. They're distinct.
Oh, yeah. Can you tell me the difference?
They're just stated to be distinct. I don't have to elaborate as to what the difference is. Stated
right, so they're both cursed spirits that are summoned by a user, right?
No, they're not both.
Okay, so what's a Shikigami? What is it?
You asked me what it is, and something distinct from cursed spirit. I already told you. It's stated verbatim. I don't know why we need to get into the specifics.
Can a normal person see a Shikigami?
Can a normal? I actually have entirely zero clue.
All right, so
tell me if there's some trait true of both.
You're saying that they're different, and I'm asking what's the thing that differentiates them. In fact, show me where it's stated that they're different.
Let me see if I can find it. I will look for that right now.
Yeah, please, and I'll get you the scan of him saying that using cursed spirits against her doesn't matter.
Oh, he says using cursed spirits?
Yeah, he says that using any sort of summoning is useless because she manipulates the mass or some shit. But I don't know what he says off the top of my head. It's just something along those lines.
I'm about to look on Google to see if I can find this explanation, to be honest.
Yo, really quickly, somebody record, bro. I'm gonna step down.
Viz and TCB translation. Since she defies concepts, I can't use a high-grade cursed spirit like in Shibuya. Since she can ignore concepts, none of the high-grade cursed spirits that I have left after Shibuya
he can't use any high-grade cursed spirits. Using cursed spirits doesn't matter against him.
No, using the cursed spirits that Kenjaku has access to in his arsenal is irrelevant. We see that in the second translation. It's more clear. There's like a very blatant elaboration as to what he's talking about. He's talking about the cursed spirits left in his arsenal.
Yeah, just send me the scans. And what immediately makes one of those translations more accurate than the other? Like, do you have your proof to why your translation is more accurate?
TCB is like generally considered more reliable. Viz has like a ton of translation errors, but I gotta see which is Viz and which is TCB.
No problem. And I don't know what this is. I'm looking. The scans that I'm using are from jjkmanga.com. I don't know what translation team that is.
I have no idea either. I'm not gonna lie. I've never seen that site before. Which one is Viz and which is TCB?
This is chapter 249, right?
That's TCB arrow. JJK Manga.com CC, I'm pretty sure.
Perfect.
Yeah.
What chapter is it?
I have no clue.
I'm just getting aired when I ask which is which. This chapter 205 present. This skin is okay.
I don't know what's fucking answering. 208. 208. Probably like what? 20.
Second is TCB. Okay, that's perfect because that's the one it was appealing to begin with. I'll send that in the. Where's the channel for the scans for this in specific? Let me see if I can find it.
It should be important scans.
Important scans. Oh, there it is. Okay. Yeah, I'll send what I'm talking about. But yeah, if you read through that, you see what I'm talking about, or what he's speaking in reference to at the very least.
Let me see. And just by myself. Let me see what my scan says. My shit can't also be TCB because my shit says something different. I'll send what mine says.
Okay. I had a few people telling me this was TCB, so yours might very well be Viz, but I don't know anything about the site.
Ace just said this is TCB. JJK manga is TCB.
Yeah, jjkmanga.com is TCB, I'm pretty sure.
Look at important scans. He says, since she defies concepts, I can't use a high-grade cursed spirit like in Shibuya.
Okay, well, two scans say two entirely different things. What I'm gonna do is I have a site that I know
hold
for
on.
sure.
What is your scan from? Because if there's multiple scans and 2 out of the 3 of them do what I'm saying, wouldn't we take the preponderance of evidence in this case?
Wait, what do you mean where are the 3?
Because you said you posted one. You said you posted one. The first one that you posted, not the second one, says, since she defies concepts, I can't use a high-grade cursed spirit like in Shibuya. And then I sent one as well from a different website that says the same thing.
Wait, no, they don't say the same thing. The scan that I sent says since she can ignore concepts, none of the high grade
Oh, sorry. I'm looking at fucking this scan. I'm looking at scans. Somebody tagged you in the thing, and I'm looking at the wrong thing. Yeah, you're right. Where's the? Can I ask the other person where their other scan is from? Because there's a second scan that was posted in scans that looks like my scan. Not looks like, but it's translated the same way.
Yeah, feel free. I'm getting a bunch of conflicting information. Oh, 6 is saying that the second one is Viz and scan, or not Viz, it's TCB and scans, the one that I was using.
Okay. Does anybody have the direct Japanese translation? Because this is just 2 entirely different things.
Somebody can probably get the raws, but
yeah, I think I need the raws. Because I think before we move forward on anything else, we should come to an idea of what we mean by this. While we wait for the raws, though, no, I actually just want to see those, and we can talk about it later.
Okay. Maybe how about you go on the TCB website, dude? The last I tried doing this when I was talking to 6. I tried doing this and it only had like the chapters like 270 and onwards.
What the fuck? Yeah, the TCB website only has the last 3 chapters on it.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Not on my computer, but I know from research the TCB one is more accurate. Yeah, it's very consistent. The TCB translations are more accurate than Viz. Viz, like, there's like a ton of faults. It's like a whole long Google Doc about translation errors with Viz.
I don't know if this thing is Viz. Like, I don't think that's Viz. I can check other websites as well. Like, I can just get multiple translations of it from multiple different translators. Because I don't think that's Viz.
Okay, the raws got sent in general, by the way, if you want to take a look.
All right, perfect.
Okay, I'm being pinged with somebody that says it can show proof. Yeah. Apparently, somebody can show proof that it's Viz, so.
Let me send this to myself real quick. Oh, hold on. Is this? The speed hasn't dropped. Judging by that, the increased mass shouldn't affect the caches themselves. If the concept is ignored, the high grade.
Are you translating the raws right now?
Yeah, well, somebody did. Sosa sent it. I think this is what ChatGPT, and it's not sensible. So I'm gonna see if I can use this translate image website. I'm gonna hope
All
to
right.
God.
I got sent a translation, so let me read through it. Let's see. Concepts are being ignored that I can't use the high grade curse spirits I left behind in Shibuya. Doesn't seem to make too much sense contextually, but it seems a little bit closer to what TCB is saying. It's kind of ambiguous, though. If you want to try to get your translation, that's fine for now. Here's the volume that the scan Aeroflame showed us from Viz Media, volume 23. It has chapters 200 to 208.
Here's the volume that the scan showed from the vid media. Perfect. What does it say? She hasn't gotten any slower, so I can assume this Adamax, since she can ignore concepts, and none of the high grade stress curses I have left after Shibuya are usable. That's fine. We can just go with that. I can't find. They're telling me that's Viz, so I'll go with that. My next line of argument then would be that she can just one shot special grade sorcerers, and special grade sorcerers should scale above, for the most part, excluding niggas like Sakuna, special grade curses. And this is stated. Well, first of all, this is shown when she punches through both of Kenjaku's arms, which keeps him from getting his head blown off. And then when she kicks him later on after having her body crushed, she said that if she wasn't weakened, that would have killed him right there. You want me to send those?
Yeah, show me what you're talking about, and then I'll get into it.
Yeah.
Nigga. They don't understand the things I say on Twitter. Yo, Apollo didn't even say nothing in chat. Niggas are just killing that nigga, bro.
Always happens, man. Always happens.
I'm gonna post the scans of her punching through both of his arms first, and then let me go grab the scan of her almost kicking his head off.
Okay. let me see. Yeah, she punches through his arms. Second concept, overwhelming mass simply cannot be contained. Wait, what was the argument here? That just on average, special grade sorcerers scale over special grade curses.
Yeah, like excluding fucking Sakuna. I think every special grade should be able to beat the special grade curses. That's also the way that they're ranked. A special grade should be able to defeat a special grade curse.
Oh, I agree for the most part. My only issue, I guess, is it's just going to be that the maximum elephant is just a curse technique. So on average, when we see special grade sorcerers or just any sorcerer in general utilizing their curse technique, the AP from the curse technique seems to be greater than what they can muster physically. Kuna is also like a really, really good example of this. Like even at the highest level, Gojo's the same. These characters just have way greater AP with curse techniques than without. So the max element or elephant should scale over Sukuna. Obviously, I think you'd agree is like beyond the level of your average special grade sorcerer, even in 15 fingers.
Yeah, I don't automatically agree with that because we know that there's shit like the new way that he used on Maki, him not putting as much power as he could have into it, and he was also trying to test out Maharaga. So I don't think he was actually trying to completely one-shot her in that instance. Like I don't think that's full dick to ass Maximum Elephant in the same way that he was using it against. I think he also used it against Gojo. I may be completely imagining that, but point being, the point of the whole fight was to test out Maharaga. So I don't think that he would have done anything that would have killed her without him being able to test Maharaga.
Well, part of the fight is testing Maharaga again, but that would fall into the view that Yorozu just does scale to the guy, which is something we'll get into later. If she does scale to him, then it would make sense that he would still be able to test Maharaga while not holding back. But I think what's more, I guess, generally relevant here is that we know part of his goal in the fight beyond just testing out Maharaga is to submerge Megumi's soul into despair, whatever he says specifically. We know the mechanism by which he's going to do this is through killing Yorozu with his technique, right? So if Yorozu has like some sufficient scaling, whereas like he wouldn't be able to hold back and beat her, then it seems more consistent than not that he would actually be putting as much AP as he can into that attack.
I mean, I think he's pretty blatantly holding back on her because he's not using his curse technique and he's baiting her out to use a specific technique. If he kills her before she uses the technique, then it won't be able to do anything. So it would be, how are you going to prove that he's using as much cursed energy as he can to use these techniques? Like, how are you going to prove that he's fighting all out?
For one, we know again the reason that he doesn't use his own curse technique is not for reasons related to holding back. It's because of the stuff like revolving around Megumi. That's why he chooses not to use his own curse technique. It's not indexed holding back at all. Repeat the second part real quick. 'Cause there was two things there. I know you got into something.
I'm just saying that the whole entire point of this is to test out Maharaga and to bait out a certain technique to test out Maharaga. If he kills her, it won't be able to pull out the technique.
Wait, where do you get the idea that he's baiting out a certain technique? And again, this whole killing presupposition is going to be relying on the fact that he scales above to begin with, which I'm not entirely sure that he does in most like relevant stats. I think it's only going to be indexed like skill with sorcery, but in terms of like physicals, those sorts of things, I don't think he scales above at all.
So you want to answer the question first about the why I think that he's baiting out a certain technique?
Yeah, like we'll get into that first.
Yeah. So he let me get the scans pulled up first before I speak on him.
Okay.
Yo, wait, isn't Serenity Haram SpongeBob?
Yep.
Yeah, nah, that nigga gotta go. You've overstayed your welcome, my friend.
All right. I'm posting the scans.
Feel free. Let me get the chat pulled up. Wait, I lost important scans. Where is it? Oh, they moved it up there. Okay.
Yeah, I also lost it. Oh.
Let me read through this.
I meant to start with this scan, but this is the scan that precedes all the scans I just posted.
Okay, so what I'm reading right here do you think implies he was trying to bait out this technique rather than just interact with her curse technique as a whole and just test out Maharaga?
Oh, well, the first thing he says is that this is a test drive. Like the idea of putting the wheel above his head is seeing how the technique works in regards to adapting to techniques in real time.
Well, yeah, I agree. He's trying to test out Maharaga. That's fine. We're talking about baiting out a specific technique.
Yeah, so he lets her use like her ultimate perfect sphere and pops her domain expansion and just stands there just to see if he can do it. So I think he's wanting her to do it to see if he can.
Well, could it not just be the case that he's standing there and letting her do it because he's confident in Maharaga's ability to do this thing, as opposed to just trying to see if he can? Because Maharaga can't actually defend this thing. I don't know what he's supposed to do.
He doesn't. It's not confidence because he's testing it out. Like if you're testing something, you inherently don't know.
Wait, him testing is before she does this, so presumably by that point he's come to gain some understanding of how fast Maharaga adapts.
No, the test is the first scan. I meant to send that first. That's what I said. So this scan precedes every scan I posted after.
Well,
so him saying
clearly there's stuff happening in between.
No, it's not. I'm telling you what happened.
How does the bug armor just magically get removed from her body if nothing happens in between?
Because I just told you what happened. Like this.
You just told me this.
That's just the end of the. That's the end of the last chapter. I just meant to post that first.
Well, you're telling me this precedes the other scans, but I'm telling you something happens in between the scan where she's in bug armor and then the following scan where she's not.
Oh, where he's like he's just dropping his techniques on her. I'll get it. This is. It even says at the very end what chapter it is. 217. I'll get you chapter.
217. I'm about to. Is that at the end of 217?
Yeah, that's at the end of 217, and then I'll get 218. He starts just fucking dropping techniques on it. Like he's just using curse techniques.
Let me. Yeah, I'll get it pulled up and look through it myself, because if he's using a bunch of different curse techniques, the test drive might be indexed to the curse technique as a whole. So I got to look at it for context. 218.
Oh, yeah, go ahead. Yeah, there's a whole fight. That's where he uses Piercing Bull and drops the Max Elephant on her, which I'm using for my scaling.
Oh yeah, he's getting his ass beat. Start of the fight. Yeah, he goes through does he go through all of the Shikigami in his arsenal?
I don't fucking know. I don't know. I don't think that's 10.
I think he's missing a couple that he's used previous, like New A or whatever, but like the ones he hasn't used before he uses here, it looks like.
Well, he's not even fully using them. I think he's still relying on this shadow technique until he fully comes into Deer. and that's when he starts using the techniques. But he already is aware of the techniques being able to work because he's been using them the entire time. He just hasn't let them come out from his shadow. So the only thing that he's using for the first time in this instance is the Maharaga wheel. So when he says this, we're going for a test drive, he has to be specifically talking about the Maharaga wheel because he's already utilized 10 shadows.
Wait, he's already used 10 shadows generally, but has he used these Shikigami in specific for anything?
I don't think so, no. But
Okay, he hasn't used the Shikigami in specific. I think he's testing out basically everything.
I don't think so. Because why we're testing him out for what? He knows it's going to be the same function, but higher. The only thing that's an unknown is the Maharaga wheel. Like it literally makes no contextual sense for him to be talking about the rest of 10 shadows because he knows the 10 shadows are just going to be amplified versions of themselves.
Wait, Maharaga is the 10 shadow that he's had the most interaction with. It seems really weird to say that he has like the least understanding of Maharaga when he's the one that taught Maharaga 101.
Megumi's never used the Maharaga wheel, nor have we seen it be used in this way before.
You think he's testing out putting the wheel over his head in specific?
Yes, using the wheel over his head in specific in order to see how Maharaga adapts.
Wait, I don't see this be like an issue with this being a conjunctive thing. I'll get into why I think it could be a conjunctive thing. We both agree that what he's trying to test out or what he's trying to prepare for is his fight with Gojo, right? Like even he has an understanding that's like the most relevant fight that he's going to have.
Correct.
Okay, so we both agree what he's testing for is a fight with Gojo. I think it makes sense for him to say that this is like sufficient for test drive here if Yorozu does scale 2 or above him, because the guy he's planning to fight is somebody who does, again, scale 2 or above him. So it makes sense to see how these Shikigami would interact with somebody who's comparable to himself, insofar as he's testing to fight another person that's comparable to himself. I think there's a basis to say Yorozu scales to him anyways.
That doesn't matter at all because Gojo has the infinity, so none of these techniques would work. The only thing that carries over from this fight to the fight with Gojo is the fucking Maharaga wheel. Like calling these guys, like these are tactics that he does not use. He just says, "Fuck it, I'm summoning Nue."
Summoning Nue? When? Are you talking about Agito?
With the Agito. He summons Agito rather than using Roaring Bull or Maximum Elephant or Rapid Escape. Like these are not tactics that he's using in his fight with Gojo. I think that matters.
Well, I agree that tactics are different, but what he gains from knowledge of interaction is just going to be like if he has some idea of how, or at the very least, what these different Shikigami can do and how they would interact with somebody who's comparable to him, he should have some better understanding of what a conjunct of these Shikigami would be able to do, which is what Agito is. Agito is just all these guys fused up. So he gets to bases of what they can all do independent of Agito, then he has a much better understanding of what Agito would be. As opposed to
I disagree because Agito is not a combination of every single Shikigami. Agito can't, for example, stay in his shadow like the other Shikigami can. Agito can't heal his wounds like Round Deer can. Agito can't shoot out water like Maximum Elephant can. And Agito doesn't move in a straight line and dramatically increase his powers like the Bull can. It's not a combination of all of the Shikigami. And Agito is just the best Shikigami that he thinks he can use in this case because every other Shikigami doesn't really matter. Though it only matters if they're pressing him so he can use his domain amplification and Maharaga can utilize his fucking sword of whatever the fuck it's called. And Gojo even points this out. He says, "You really don't belong here, nigga." Like he's like, "You're not supposed to be here. You're not like that," and then blows him up.
Wait, so to address this sort of first part, for one, we know Agito can heal like the Round Deer can. We know Agito is like stated just very expressly to be a conjunct of at the very least a few of the Shikigami and can utilize some of their abilities. As for the Shikigami who are not a part of the conjunct, he uses their abilities independent of summoning the Shikigami, so the basis is still relevant. Like he uses Max Elephant's water in the fight. He uses Agito to do some of the things that the other Shikigami would be able to do, and again, Agito is just a stronger conjunct. If you want the statements saying, like, talking about the conjunct, talking about the things that Agito can do. A lot of them are similar to the abilities. Not even similar, the exact same as the abilities we see from these other Shikigami.
Yeah, can you show me him healing like Round Deer? You said he could do that.
Yeah. Let me just look. Or I'll just ping in chat my people that render the scans. Haram, do you have the scan for Sukuna healing with Agito? Oh, Mercury's pinging me.
Yeah, because I think all those things don't matter. And on top of that, it doesn't really lend to your point because you're saying this is him testing out how to use the abilities against Gojo, and you just described him using the abilities in a different way because they wouldn't work well against Gojo.
Well, I agree that like insofar as the way they would interact with the Limitless is entirely different, but in the way that they interact with a character who's comparable to him, they're the same, and he gains some understanding of what their abilities are
Right.
independent of the content.
But limitless is kind of a big thing, isn't it? Like
Wait, no,
limitless is
I
kind
agree.
of
That's why he focuses on Maharaga in that fight in specific, so he can get rid of the Limitless and use these other things which he's already accumulated knowledge on. But I'm saying there's still some reason to believe that he would want to accumulate knowledge on the other Shikigami since they all play a part, or pretty sure almost all of them play a part in his fight with Gojo. Okay, yeah, there's.
I don't think so.
That's Nue with some of Great Serpent, Tiger Funeral, and Round Deer mixed into it, and then. Oh, okay. I can't listen to heal. I need to prioritize destroying Agito.
Yeah.
So it'd be a pain if this thing heals Suna.
Go ahead. What'd you say? You cut out a bit for me.
My bad. I was reading the scan. I'll send it in important scans, but Gojo just outright says that Agito can heal him. Let me get that sent. Scans. Be a pain if this thing healed Sukuna, or healed up Sukuna, so my first priority is crushing Agito. Yeah.
All I need is the purple fire at the... Yeah, that's fine. My whole point generally is that Agito is not a combination of all of the Shikigami. That's the main thing I was saying. Like I said, he can charge like the bull or all that. Yeah, I'm fine with him being a combination of three of them. But my point is that he's not using all of the Shikigami in the same way that he's using them against Yorozu. Like he's not fighting in the same way. It's not even remotely similar. So I don't see how this would at all be related to how he's gonna fight with Gojo. The only thing that correlates is the fucking Maharaga wheel so far.
Yeah, well, I think I've already said he does use like most of the Shikigami's abilities, like Max Elephant, for example, he uses the water like independent of summoning the Max Elephant. Maybe he does summon the elephant, I don't entirely remember the fight, but I think I've already kind of gone over why like the things you think are distinct are like mostly irrelevant to the point, so we can move past this if you want.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. I pretty much said all I have to say.
Okay, so
what
you
else
said
you wanted to talk about? Well, you wanted to talk about Yorozu directly scaling the 15 finger Sukuna, right?
Oh,
or
yeah,
16,
this is...
I think it is.
Yeah, I mean, regardless of the terminology, we're both like clear on what.
Yeah, we know what we're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah. So let me get this pulled up. This is mostly just going to be indexed to physicals.
Okay.
But she's like, he can even track her visually half the fight at the very least off rip. So let me swaps into bug armor. It's like right after he says that this should be good enough for a test drive. I'll send the scans and important scans, but geez, giving him the fucking beats. I think that's the right order for the scans, but let me go back to 217 and see if there's anything that like happens right before, or I guess earlier in the chapter. Yeah, we just get a flashback explaining the bug armor. Yeah, give me 2 seconds to look at the context for this, make sure there's not anything I'm missing, but...
You good, you good.
Okay, yeah, all we see is she transforms into bug armor. Sukuna says, perfect, it's time for a test drive, or whatever it said in your translation. Translation doesn't really matter for that. But yeah, she transforms to bug armor. First thing she does, opens with a clean blow on the guy's face, gets behind him before he can make any sufficient reaction. He tries to block, loses track of her completely, and then gets roundhouse kicked in the head.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. Wait, hold on. Did you say speed blitz at any point, or do you say she just got around him?
I would argue at the very least it meets sufficient threshold for like a like physical blitz. Perception is kind of what's like we have to talk about here. But at the very least, he loses track of her completely.
Yeah. For an instant, he loses track. I'm fine with that. I'm 100% fine with that. Do you have any problem with Sukuna clearly being above her in base form, though?
Her base. Here's the thing. I haven't looked at like base Yorozu stuff in a while, so they fight in like 217, right?
Yeah, and it's just like a couple blows are exchanged. She has to put up, but she ends up having to put up her like armor to block it, to like properly get a blow from Sukuna because he just got past her. Or is it 216? It might be 216.
Okay, I was gonna say I read through 217. It looks like she's doing relatively fine, so I'll see what you're talking about.
No, it's 217. Yeah, it's that exact exchange from 217, and she has to put up like a piece of her armor at the very end. Like he gets her.
At the very end? Okay.
Yeah, it's a very short exchange. He tries to throw a bunch of kicks. He knocks them all away. And then he goes to kick her in her side. And she has to put up some of her like cursed technique insect carapace, that liquid metal, to block the attack.
It seems like, from what I'm gathering, at the very least, they seem to be comparable in speed. She can react to him just fine. He can react to her. It looks like what you'd expect from two relative characters. Is this just like an AP thing, whereas like, you think she doesn't have the dirt?
I mean, I think that he's superior to her. I think she attacks him. He punches all her hits away, and then he kicks her in the stomach, and she can't block it in time. She has to use her liquid metal to block the attack. Which in the attack alone put a huge dent, not a huge, well, it's a foot-sized dent in her shit. Like a casual kick from Sukuna. So to me, that reads as Sukuna is superior to her.
Wait, what do you mean when you say that, like, she had to do this? Like, do you think that's like a speed-related thing as opposed to like a choice? She's like clearly taunting him in that panel even, so I don't think she's like getting outmatched here by any means. Like, she would have no basis to be taunting the guy if she's getting outmatched
because she fucking blocked it with the armor construction. They're having a hand-to-hand fight. Like, I think that she's like, okay, you got me, but I use my armor construction. Otherwise, I mean, that's just what it reads to me. Like, she runs up on him. He doesn't have to use his curse technique. He doesn't have to use 10 shadows. And he kicks into her chest, and she has to use her curse technique. That reads to me like he's superior to her.
Superior to what? And like a straight boxing match?
Like a straight boxing match. Like, I'm not saying that he's significantly faster or significantly stronger. I'm just saying that Sukuna's stats allow him to be fast enough that she can't block it with her hands. She needs to use her curse technique.
To be fair, using your curse technique, I don't know whether it'd be any faster than using your hands, especially if you have to create and morph a construct in time. To me, what it seems like is like there's just either a skill disparity in hand-to-hand that would allow for him to hit some sort of opening that her body might have, or he just hits really hard and she doesn't want to block it with her body. It seems to be one of the two, because I don't know why using her curse technique would lead to some faster reaction than just moving her hands.
I'm fine with the latter. We can just say that. Okay. So next I'm going to go over is, do you agree that Maki's able to stick with 16-finger Sukuna? Like they have relatives?
No.
Okay, so let me get that for you.
That fight that's like right before this, right? 215?
Fuck, I don't know off the top of my head. It might be.
I'm pretty sure I'll get it pulled up. I think I know what you're talking about, like at the start of the fight where she like
204.
No, it's 215. I have it pulled up. Actually,
okay.
Yeah, she shows up. Are you talking about when she like counters his attack and hits him, throws him away?
No, there's like multiple instances where they're like exchanging blows and shit, and they like jump across the rocks on some Dragon Ball Z type shit.
Oh, I don't. I know what you're talking about. I think it's ambiguous whether or not they're trading blows there. Just because from what we've seen, it seems like Sukuna's superior previously. And the guy's just getting jumped. He seems to be like just fine getting jumped. I'll send the scans that I'm talking about, but he's able to casually block both the two at once and then just clobbers Maki in the fucking skull. This is a Maki who can make footholds on air, by the way, so I don't like... If you're gonna respond by saying like she's like off balance or whatever here, she can make footholds on the air.
No, I'm not saying anything like that. My scans. Alright, here we go. Here's the entire exchange with Maki.
Wait, did I send that? Okay, I did send it in the right channel, I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Alright, so you can call it off balance or what. We see that her fist is about to hit him in the face here, and then the next panel, she's leaning back and her arm has flown up. So even if she can make footfalls on air, it's probably not instant and instinctive like fucking Geppo or some shit from One Piece. And then he punches her in the face, she spits, and he's like, not bad. And then you can see collision marks where the two of them aren't on rocks. So to me, that indicates that the two of them are hitting each other. Like there's, I think, 2 collision marks, them going at it in the air, and then they break apart in the middle.
Okay, well, I'll get to the first instance. With like when we see her fist closing in on him, and then he's able to drop to the ground and break the floor. This to me reads as like an outspeed here because we know they're throwing barrages of attacks with both their hands. He's able to block 4 people's arms, who presumably are performing pretty similar. He's able to block 4 of their arms with 2 of his own, so just 1 arm to block all their attacks. Before she can throw another attack in the barrage, he's able to drop to the floor and explode it before her fist can land on him. So it seems like that's an outspeed there. Then he lands a clean hit on her. Whatever, and then we see them bouncing around. I do agree that there's impact markers. I'm just unclear as to whether or not they're hitting each other. It seems to be more likely given the previous evidence that Sukuna's the one landing the hits here, if anything. I don't know if there's any reason to say that they're hitting each other. They also know Yuji's involved, so again, he's getting 1v2 here.
Yuji's not involved in that jumping back and forth instance. There's only 2 hit markers. And there's instances where they hit on the side, and the only ones that are shown to be moving from that motion instance right over the railway is Maki and Sukuna. It looks like Yuji just standing there. Yuji also got thrown off in the other direction. And in regards to him being able to put his head down, it's not like a very far distance. He like jerks his head below, and it could have been very well that nigga Itadori was going high, and Maki's fist still almost hits him. Like the only reason that the fist doesn't make contact is because he blows up the ground beneath her. And I think it'd be very weird to be like he speed blitzes her in this one instance, and in every other instance she's able to react to his attacks. Like that doesn't make any sense. Unless
where do you think the other instances in which she reacts are?
Where he throws a punch in her direction and she catches it in between both of her arms and then punches him in the face. It's the first 2 channels I sent.
Oh,
and on top of it, and like I said, the 2 of them are jumping back and forth, showing an exchange. They both hit each other once, so I have no idea where you're getting that based on the evidence from before. The only one who's landing hits is Sukuna. They both landed a hit on each other. And in that instance where he's about to hit Maki, we can see that he's completely turned towards her and has both of his hands free, and he gets fucking punched in his mouth.
Okay, so to get into the first thing, he hits Yuji in the face while blocking Maki.
Correct.
Maki catches his punch, right? Hits him in the face, and then pushes him back.
Oh, hold on. He hits Yuji away, and he's fully facing Maki now when he struck at her. He has both of his hands free. Let's be clear about that.
Yeah, no, I agree with that.
Okay.
We see it's just like a dialogue thing for me. What we see from the dialogue is he describes both the two, presumably as dull, like while they're jumping him or whatever. To me, this indicates that he's probably holding back here, has no reason to go all out. Again, he doesn't have any understanding of how strong Maki is. Like the typical mechanism by which you gauge how strong a character is going into a fight is going to be their curse energy. She has absolutely none.
I don't think that matters at all because we know that he's like, I'm just going to eliminate this brat right now. That's what he says at the very start of the fight.
Also, this is at the very start of actually right before this is when he's still like trying to figure out what's going on with the nerfs, right? So I'm pretty sure
he exactly figures out what's exactly wrong with the nerfs. He said his curse energy output is weakened, but his physical body is completely fine. So in terms of physical stats, completely fine. He says it verbatim, and I'll get all of that real quick. Let me just grab it real quick. He straight up says his physical body is not affected.
Well, yeah, but curse energy output is going to be correspondent to your stats because curse energy is the mechanism by which you increase them. So if you grant that his curse energy output is
output is exerted outside of your body, is it not?
No, output is described as one of the reasons as to why Yuta's physicals are so impressive. Same with Ryu.
Yeah, both of them are because I'm pretty sure it's stated to be his curse energy, not his curse energy output.
Well, it's quantity of energy, but to utilize the energy, you have to output it. Output is not like exclusive to like shooting beams or whatever Ryu does, but Ryu's stats are high for the same reason.
Well, can you show me that? Yeah, because it does. It's purely just the energy that they're augmenting their body with. I don't think curse energy output counts towards the energy using to augment your blows. Like when Yuji goes from, he was strong before in Shibuya, but now that he's learned to utilize his curse energy, he's a demon god now. I wouldn't say it's his cursed energy output because he's not outputting his energy. He's not using more energy. He's just utilizing that energy to amplify his body.
The cursed energy reinforcing the body is external to the body, so I would presume that falls under like most typical definitions of output. But again, I'll keep looking for what I'm talking about.
So, yeah. In the meantime, I'll get this stuff about him saying it's not his physical body being affected.
I know what you're talking about. He's talking about like Megami as when he says physical body. I think he's just talking about Megami can't like actually alter the vessel in any way, the way that Yuji can, like where Yuji can completely stop the guy from doing something and take over. But let me see, where would I find stuff about output?
I'll be down soon.
Yeah, so he says his cursed energy output is reduced to about 10%. But with this amount of cursed energy, it should be more than enough to comfortably slaughter the brat. So he's not holding back here. He's trying to kill him. Zaguna's not a holding back ass the fucking final fight, but who? Whatever. You know what I mean? Like, but he's explicitly trying to kill him.
Well, I agree that he's trying to kill him, but he does.
He also says when he does the cleave, he says, when I'm about to hurt his friends, it looks like rejection is stronger and he dampens the output of my curse technique. If that's the case. So he's specifically talking about when he's using his curse technique. And in fact, the only time he notes that his body is weaker is when he tries to use his curse technique, which is curse energy output, against Yuji. Before that, when it's just him kicking Yuji in his fucking face, he's like, yo, this is perfectly fine. I know exactly what's going on. But then he tries to use
getting punched in the face.
No. So let me get to the spin. He makes that statement before that.
He starts slashing up Yuji. Yuji walks through it and punched him in the face. And then he notices.
Right. I'm saying just before that, he kicked him in his head, and Yuji's head jerked back, and he was like, nah, he's right. The only time he noticed that his energy was reduced was when he used the cleave, which is curse energy outside of the body, right? Otherwise, what would be making Megami so strong if he can't use amplification?
Wait, I agree.
It's not like Megami's...
the amount of amplification he can use. It's not that he can't use amplification at all. I just think the amplification is hindered. I think there's some consistency for it too, with Toji getting compared to weird Sukunas, but we can get into that after.
Scan of him kicking him in the head.
Scan him kicking him in the head. Did you send that in important scans?
I'm sending it right now, my bad.
Oh, okay. I'll look at that in a second. I still can't find fucking anything related to output. I have no idea what it says verbatim, which is why I'm trying to just find general stuff on output so I can try and remember.
Because are you fine with the initial explanation that Gojo has, because he explains the difference between curse energy and then output.
Yeah, if you have that, that would definitely be something that's good to look at while I look for this. If you have like some explanation,
I also have the reuse. I found the reuse. But the thing that you're referring to, it's talking about both the highest curse energy output among the players can shoot curse energy like, and it doesn't say the thing about his body being enhanced, but I'll see if I can find that as well.
Mm.
Oh, fuck.
Wait, when it stated Sukuna's output is dropping in the, I'm pretty sure it is, but let me see. I'm pretty sure when it stated Sukuna's output is dropping, like in like the late Shinjuku stuff, he proceeds to perform far worse physically. So let me see if I can find that.
Well, yeah, you can find it. No, I'm not sure what you're referring to. Because I think that's when he's getting hit by the fucking soul punches that are removing his body from Megami's body. Like, I think that might also be what's fucking him up. He also has two. He also is reduced to like 2 arms.
Yeah, I'm talking about before that. He definitely does get hit by Yuji, but like the first thing he speaks in reference to like being some sort of hindrance is curse energy output. But let me see. Oh wait, yeah. Increase in physicals in Reggie versus Takaba, and like an increase in physicals is attributed to an increase in output. So there definitely is like a correlation between curse energy output and curse energy enhancement. Let me get that.
Did you post it?
Yeah, I'm grabbing it right now. I got the scan. Don't worry. Do you have the scan? I'm pretty sure it's like there's like a lot of stuff indicative of correlation, but let me go to important scans with this for sure. Oh, you have it. He's fast. The curse energy increased dramatically. The shift in output is massive. Okay. Yeah, let me take that to important scans. I'll let you take a look at it. I had to get in the car in like 10 minutes, so hopefully my service isn't complete dog shit. But
I mean, these are 2 different sentences. It's not attributed. These are 2 different sentences. He's fast. The curse energy increased dramatically. The shift in output is massive. This guy
the shift in output would be the descriptor for the increase in curse energy.
I think that's the case.
Also, he doesn't do anything. He doesn't use curse energy external to the body in the way that you're talking about. Like he's not shooting anything here. He just moves faster.
Well, can you show the preceding scans?
I have no idea in this fight is. I'll try and find it. Let me Jaws one.
That doesn't really make any sense.
What do I need? I'm looking for
output. There's nothing being output like when we sense Yuta for the first time, they're not like his cursed energy output is insane. They're like, we can sense cursed energy from here. There's nothing about output. 166.
Yeah, and Haram, that's what I was looking for. It's just stuff that implies that output is correlative to your physical stats. I know there's like a few statements. The first one I grabbed was Reggie and Takaba. It's that stuff. Oh, let me plug my phone in a little bit.
Oh, this nigga, it is not 166. I'm looking at it right now.
Oh. Well, 6 implied he was not sure, so that's probably part of it.
Just keep scrolling. I'll just keep checking.
Tell me what scans specifically, or ask her if I can send scans for you.
Yeah, you can send scans for him if he asks for him, but I'm saying, like, what chapter is this in? Because what these two sentences are not connected, so I have to know what's happening.
I disagree about them being connected. I'm getting pinged, so presumably that's a chapter. But I think the implication of
169.
One would apply as a description of the other.
Well, hold on. I push up my glasses and I fucking raise my finger. Wouldn't him being amplified like this be the effective comedian?
What do you mean by the effective comedian?
So comedian allows him to do things because he thinks that they're funny. So
I agree.
This could very well because this guy explodes when he gets kicked, and it does the big old miss, and then he lands on his hands. An old school performer who's pro violence, and this is all a joke to him. So this could very well just be him. I'm not even going to say very well be. I think this is just him using comedian. So he senses he senses the cursed output because he's utilizing his cursed technique. And my argument is that his cursed energy output directly correlates to your cursed technique. And the reason he noticed is because he used a cursed technique and that shit was not working like it was supposed to. And on top of that, he even says, but my body is not affected. So the reason he's saying in this instance, why Reggie's saying in this instance, he's fast, the cursed energy increased dramatically. The shift in output is massive. I think he just flared up his energy and started fucking using comedian. That's why they're two separate sentences.
I've already addressed the body thing, but you think that, just to be very clear, you think that when people say cursed energy output, that's going to be purely indexed to cursed technique, right?
Not their cursed technique. I think you can shoot it out like a fucking blast, like Gojo does it when he's explaining cursed energy to, whatchamacallit, to Yuji. Like he describes cursed energy as being the electricity, and he describes cursed technique and different things like that being the applications of it.
Yeah, it's. I'll get it, but it's stated expressly that Kusakabe, through some technique, is able to, not a cursed technique, but through his like simple domain stuff, is able to increase his cursed energy output, and that benefits him. Yet he doesn't do either of those things. He doesn't shoot anything. He doesn't have a cursed technique. He just fights with a sword. I'll get that.
Yeah.
Scans. Inside this domain, my cursed energy output rises, even as Sukuna's techniques slightly weaken. Does anyone know what chapter Sukuna versus, what's his name, Kusakabe is? So I can explain like blatant change in physical performance. I don't know if there will be because he's a lot weaker than Sukuna.
This domain. I can probably just find that.
Oh, they talk about output to explain some Kashimo physical stat stuff. Special properties and cursed techniques effect. It's hard to defend yourself against that just by strengthening with cursed energy, but he's ignoring all that through sheer cursed energy quantity and output. So yeah, they just do describe output as something relevant to...
Yeah, can you show me that?
Okay.
Yeah, you put in important
But-
scans because I don't see the scan that you're talking about. Is it in general?
It got sent in general a little bit ago. I'll send that. But did you read the Kusakabe thing, right? Where it's like he has an increase in output and it's to be a benefit, but he doesn't shoot anything, nor does he have a curse technique.
Well, can you show me the scan preceding that? Because I'm pretty sure all this shit that Kusakabe doing is using his simple domain, which would also be curse energy output. Like, what chapter is that?
I have no idea. That's what I was asking. Is what chapter Kusakabe versus Kuna was? I didn't see if there's any response. It's chapter 254. Okay, thank you.
54.
Okay, yeah, I gotta hop in the car.
Yeah. So just before that, he's putting up his simple domain.
But what is that? Like, what does that
Hold on, Mama,
correlate to?
doing
It's
something.
254, right? I'll pull it up so I can see what you're talking about. What does that mean there?
Here, I'm just getting it. Hold on, let me just read this through.
Well, no, he actually, yeah, no, he puts
Yeah,
up
it
the
seems like
domain,
he's,
but
yeah,
the
he's
result
using
of the
a
domain.
technique.
What technique?
So
Simple
he
domain?
says simple domain, new shadow style simple domain, evening mood sword EI, sword drawing against my flying slashing attacks. Simple domain can cancel out the guaranteed hit as an anti-domain or an anti-bear tactic, but it can't neutralize the curse technique itself. It's basic, but a domain is a domain. Inside this domain, my curse energy output rises even as Sukuna's technique slightly weakens. But best of all, I can incorporate my own original program, automatically intercepting anything that intrudes into the domain. He's got good reflexes. So far as I've mostly handled Sukuna's slashes by relying on guesswork based on the source of the curse energy and motion, but this should be better. So all he's doing is utilizing the technique imbued inside of the domain to, like, it's a technique that's amplifying his stats. It's the virtue of the evening mood sword EI, which is a curse technique. It's a domain. It's a barrier technique.
It's not a curse technique. It's a barrier,
technique. Right, but it still utilizes your curse energy output. Like that's still utilizing a technique.
Well, no, the technique is a mechanism by which the output increases, not the opposite. So, like, it's not like an increase in output affects the barrier affects the increase in output. The relationship's described to work as such.
Right, repeat that one more time, please.
Yeah, the relationship is not that with some increase in output, now, like, the barrier is better. It's because of the existence of the barrier that his output is increased. The relationship only works insofar as the barrier amps output.
Right, but you're saying that increasing his output is the reason, like he's increasing in stats here, but he's not increasing in stats here. The reason that he's able to do these things automatically is because of his curse, is because of the technique that he's casting within the simple domain. Evening moon sword EI incorporates his own original program, automatically intercepting anything that intrudes within the domain. So it's not his stats that are increasing, allowing him to do anything. It's the technique that's imbued inside of the simple domain. There's no indication of his stats increasing. It's by virtue of the simple domain. His body automatically intercepts things.
Yeah, that's stated to be entirely separate from the increase in output. So he says, inside this domain, my curse energy output rises, even as Sukuna's technique slightly weakened. But best of all, I can incorporate my own original program. So he describes those two things to be distinct. I don't think it's because of the
I can incorporate my own original program, automatically intercepting anything that intrudes into the domain. So
yeah,
by virtue of the domain's programming is what allows him to do that. It's not an increase in stats. This is not a proven increase in stats.
Wait, no, the argument is not that it's a proven increase in stats. It's that he gains some sort of benefit external to all these things you think curse energy output is talking about.
Well, no. We are specifically talking about his energy output because you're saying an increase in energy output directly correlates to an increase in stats. But this doesn't say that. The reason that he's intercepting his attacks is because of the programming that's built into the domain.
Wait, the argument isn't about him intercepting the attacks. It's just a process of elimination here. So we look at what could benefit from curse energy output. Your idea is that it's techniques, or like specifically curse techniques, and curse energy used external to the body in the sense that you're like shooting something or whatever. It doesn't do either of these things. Same with the technique that's described to follow from this domain is not attributed to the raise in output. It's described as something distinct that is applied to the domain. So with process of elimination there, it can't be any of the other things that are external to physical stats. The only real thing that he has to benefit here from is physical stats. And this is kind of consistent with the other scan that I sent. But yeah, there's literally nothing else that he could be benefiting from here, from curse energy output increase. So he doesn't have a curse technique. He's not shooting anything, right? And we know the technique he's using within the barrier is stated to be something distinct, or described as something distinct from the other benefits. So this is just something he gets when he opens the barrier. It's not because of some increasing curse energy output.
That's you're not understanding. You're saying that an increase in energy output is an increase in stats, and this is your evidence for that. Like, this is why you presented this. I didn't present this. You presented it, and I'm saying that there's no bearing on his physical stats here. The only thing Sukuna commented on is he's got good reflexes, but all of this is happening by virtue of the basic domain. It's evening mood sort of and then he says, I can incorporate my own original program, automatically intercepting that intrudes into the domain, because the domain is a domain. That's what it's. I'm not sure what you're saying.
Do you want me to repeat? I think we're good to move on past this point if you want to talk about.
Yeah, we're good to move on. Yeah, we're completely fine.
Okay. He's practically ignoring. You can look at the Kashimo Kari stuff. He's practically ignoring my curse energy special property. Special properties and curse techniques affect. It's hard to defend yourself against that just by strengthening your body and curse or with curse energy. But he's ignoring all that just through sheer curse energy quantity and output. So he's saying that typically it's hard to do this thing by reinforcing your body, but because he's so good at these two aspects of reinforcement, he's able to do this thing. Essentially. Before you respond to that, though, I'll give you a second to read it. Give me 2 seconds. I'm about to head out to the car.
Go ahead.
I'm busy right now. Come back later. I don't have time. No, I'm busy. Please come back later. I'm not.
بتنزل لتحت نزلها لك سمعت؟ ها؟
Monlim is gay. Yo, chat.
Okay, I'm back. Did you get a chance to read the scan that I sent? It's going to be a little weird for me trying to look at scans while I'm in the car, so hopefully we don't have to get into too many more, but you saw what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, I'm just looking through the fight real quick.
Okay. My mic does not pick up my fucking Google Maps. I think it should be good. Let's see.
bad, just looking through it real quick. What chapter does Hikari fight Yuji in? Because I'm pretty sure they say something in regards to him coating his fists in like a different degree of cursed energy. Because we know that Yuta does the exact same thing, so Hikari doing it is not particularly odd, especially so when it's explained just before this chapter that Yuta does the exact same thing that Hikari's doing.
I have no idea, but we know Hikari has like a particular cursed energy trait that hurt more when you get hit by him as opposed to somebody else with the same amount of cursed energy.
Yeah, because I would argue that there's a distinct difference between like amplifying your body with cursed energy and something like a coating, right? Like when, for example, when Todo uses the mass amount of cursed energy to gather in his stomach to shield himself against attacks from Sukuna and Mahito, I think that's distinctly different than like a general amplification.
I'm pretty sure it's just described as like a different application of general amplification. There's like a description they give where they say that like skilled sorcerers, because they don't gather all their cursed energy in one place, you can't tell like really what they're amplifying or what they plan to do. But unskilled sorcerers will just amp the shit out of one part of their body, so you can tell exactly what they're trying to do.
Yeah, and I think that's an instance like this is here, because he's saying that his physical body is just not being affected.
Whose physical body? Kashimo's?
Yeah, or not Kashimo. I'm referring back to Sukuna because you're talking about a scan where they're not constantly flaring their bodies with cursed energy, right?
Wait, the last thing I sent was the Hikari and Kashimo stuff, like as an argument for why output is enforcement. That is like the last thing I sent.
Yeah, but I'm saying that it's not particular. Like it's not a new technique. Like some people always amplify their bodies massively with energy. Yuta's the best example. Has greater accuracy in controlling cursed energy. Make attack until it's found. I think I found the scan.
I have like 20 minutes left before I gotta head out, but I think this is like the last major point because I think everything else
this is the last major point. I mean, right here, I think an elite fighter has a greater accuracy in controlling cursed energy, making it difficult to predict an attack until the moment it's executed. So you see how the guy is like layering cursed energy on top of itself, like with the cursed fist that Yuji used to do.
Well, the divergent fist wasn't like he put too much cursed energy there. Is that the flow of his cursed energy was too slow to keep up with how fast his physical body was. That's what divergent fist was. But I think you're sending the scan from Yuta versus Yuji, right? Where it like explains that like skilled sorcerers. Yeah, skilled sorcerers like don't put all their cursed energy into one point of the body. They spread it out.
Yeah, and then it talks about Yuta using a massive amount of cursed energy to amplify his physical traits, but it doesn't show up in the same way that Hikari's does, even though we know Yuta has way more cursed energy than he does.
What do you mean it doesn't show up in the same way that Hikari's does? I'm confused.
Like when Hikari's fist fighting with what's his name, Kashimo, we can see like a huge outline of cursed energy around his body, and he's saying, but he's ignoring all of that through sheer cursed energy quantity and output.
Is that when Hikari has infinite cursed energy?
Is it?
Yeah, if that's like if he's his domain there,
does he have his domain off already? Because I think this is the start of the fight because he has his shirt on.
I can't check it right now, but you can probably check it, or if somebody can explain, like, just send what you're talking about, and somebody can probably tell us where it's from.
I'm talking about the scan that you posted earlier.
Scan that I posted earlier. Wait, Kari doesn't even have cursed energy around him in the thing that I showed.
Is that not his cursed energy around his fist right there?
No, that's the electricity from Kashimo crackling on his body.
Okay, hold on. Okay. He's practically ignoring my cursed energy special. Yeah, okay, I'm fine with that.
And then I guess like the last major thing.
I'm fine with there being a degree of correlation in regards to the cursed energy to the physical stats. But just to be clear, just to make sure that we're on the same page, you know that my scan says at its worst, he's only significantly weakened. So it fluctuates up and down. You're fine with that, right?
Yeah, that fluctuation is fine. I think like the last thing that I want to go over is you agree that like the perfect sphere should be able to damage Yuki, right? Because it has like an infinite PSI.
Yeah, I think if it hits her, it should be able to damage her, yeah.
Okay, and then obviously like it's a sure hit because of the domain stuff, so she can't dodge it. The only relevant thing would be like a domain clash between the two. If you grant that there's a correlation between cursed energy output and physical stats, if we take that Yorozu has generally higher physical stats, which off scaling to 15-figure schooner she should, that she should win a domain clash off output alone, presumably.
Yeah, I disagree on a couple fronts. First being, I don't think that she automatically scales above. You're talking about just in her insect form, right? That's the state that you think scales above him, right?
Yeah, I think insect form scales above, and then like we talked about like the rel and some stat stuff.
I don't think cursed energy quantity has to deal with domains, because we let Gojo has less cursed energy than Sukuna, and their sure hit techniques still cancel out. The thing that determines who wins a domain clash is its complexity, and we know that Kenjaku, who's a master of barrier techniques, said that if Yuki used her domain, she probably would have had a better chance.
Well, no, like in terms of domain clashes, it's stated to be both complexity and cursed energy output. Those two are highlighted like specifically as the two things that are relevant. There's also like there's a compatibility. Someone can probably send a statement. I know it's stated. It might be in the Jogo thing. It might be in Gojo versus Sukuna as well. And it's stated for sure that one of the relevant things that decides who wins a domain clash is cursed energy output.
Oh, I found it. Well, this is a weird scan. I'll get a second one if you want me to, but it's one of those agenda scans. But we'll see if you take it. He says when multiple domains are expanded at the same time, the more polished one will reign supreme. He says it can also depend on compatibility and cursed energy. But in an instance where you have someone like Gojo, who has, I think it's stated, half the energy of Yuta, and then Sukuna has more than double of Yuta's energy. So in a situation like this, that's 4 times the cursed energy, and Gojo's was still able to clash equally with Sukuna. So I think it depends mostly on your domain expansion, like your domain expansion's complexity.
Well, no, we know Sukuna's is stated to be more We know Sukuna's is stated to be like one of the most refined, like in the entire verse. I'm pretty sure
but,
he's in the top three.
but then it's stated that their domains clash and they're equal. So
Well,
it doesn't
yeah,
matter
this
what's stated
scan that
about.
you sent doesn't talk about cursed energy output. It just talks about general cursed energy. Cursed energy output is like highlighted. I think it is in the Gojo Sukuna fight as like another relevant thing. So, quantity and output are
Oh fuck, we're getting into the Goonies.
like the explanation there. We know Gojo is like perfectly efficient with cursed energy. So his output being really high seems to
Right. Well,
make
it doesn't.
sense.
It doesn't
I don't know if
say
somebody's
output.
like
It doesn't say output. It says specifically how much cursed energy you have. Like it can depend on compatibility and cursed energy. So I'm presuming it means how much cursed energy you're pouring into it. But we know that Gojo, like Sukuna, has more cursed energy, so efficiency shouldn't matter if it's just quantity of cursed energy needed.
Wait, no. That's the issue. There is Gojo uses an infinitesimally small amount of cursed energy when pouring cursed energy into something. So even if Sukuna has a lot more, Gojo can pour in a fuck ton because he gets so much out of such a small amount. It'd be the same sort of effect.
Right. But that's not what it says. Like, so he's efficient because he replenishes his cursed energy by using like RCT at the same time. But I don't think he can do that at the same time that he's putting up a domain expansion. Like the reason that he has that such efficient usage is because he's constantly restoring his cursed energy.
Wait, what do you mean? No, it's just stated that when he activates something that he uses an infinitesimally small amount. It's not that he restores the amount that's used, he just uses an infinitesimally small amount.
No, I'm
I know it's
pretty
data.
sure it's stated it's restored. I can go grab it real quick.
Yeah, if somebody has the scan that just says Gojo uses an infinitesimally small amount of cursed energy, that'd be great. And if somebody has the scan where they talk about Gojo and Sukuna domain clashes and refer to cursed energy output along with refinement, the domain, both of those would be great. I can like half the road is pretty quiet. I can like half check my phone if somebody wants to ping me with literally either of those. That'd be perfect. 'Cause I have absolutely no way to go try and find them. But I know both those things are stated verbatim, especially the infinitesimal. Like it uses an infinitesimally small amount.
Yeah, chapter
I know
140. He compensates for his lack of power with cursed energy reinforcement. Everyone does it, but when he does, blah blah. But Sensei has the sixth side, so the energy that's locked when he activates a curse technique is infinitesimally close to zero. Of course, Sensei is the best. After all, I can run out of cursed energy, but he doesn't. Now I'm done talking.
Okay, yeah. So
he uses an infinitesimal amount of energy too when he activates a technique. So do you think that Gojo is an exception?
Well,
to the
yeah, infinitesimally close to zero
quantity. Yeah. So do you think that Gojo's the exception to the rule about cursed energy quantity?
What do you mean the rule of? Are you talking about like when Gojo describes the domain clashes? He says cursed energy.
Yeah, he says cursed energy. Like, what do you interpret that to mean?
Oh, I think that's presumably like an output thing, just because of the later statements, which I still need to be. I think there's a ping. That might be the output stuff. It's in Gen. I can't really read it, but surely there's like an adept description.
It says, evenly matched, they form a pair within Gojo's barrier. The two sure hit guarantees overlap and cancel each other out. A battle with both sides expanding their domains. Should either one sustain immense damage, the collapse of their domain, blah, blah. These are the same scan again. And then he compensates for but Sensei has when he activates technique. Of course, Sensei is the best. After all, I can run out of energy. Are these just the same scan?
Yeah, I think these are the other things we were talking about. Like, this is, it sounds like that's what we went over. Unless one of the statements there talks about the output stuff, like the curse energy output stuff, then I don't know.
Yeah, it doesn't say anything about like, it just says when he activates a technique, he uses a really small amount of energy. And I mean, I don't really get how that would work. That would just directly contradict how we've explained these things to work. Because if he's efficient with his curse energy, and that means he can use a very, very small amount of energy.
Yes, it's that he can use a very
wouldn't that-
small
wouldn't
amount.
that-
He can use a
so if
small
he
amount
uses
to net the same result as something greater. Like somebody would have to use way more to get the same result that he does.
Right. I don't see how that makes sense. Because he's saying when multiple domains are expanded at the same time, the more polished one will reign supreme. That seems to be the main thing that he's talking about. He says it can also depend on compatibility and cursed energy. So the primary thing to me comes off to be the mastery of the domain expansion, like how polished it is in comparison to the other person's. And it can also depend on compatibility and cursed energy. Because we know that when when Yuta goes up against Sukuna, he also domain clashes with him. And we know that he's nowhere near as efficient as Gojo was. So we know
he
that
has the 6 sides in that body.
It doesn't matter that he has a 6 sides. We find out that he's not as efficient as Gojo is.
Wait, where do we get told that he's not as efficient? The 6 sides is the mechanism by which you become super efficient.
I can show you.
Okay. Trouble is what you pinged with the output shit that I was talking about, because that is a fuck ton of text, and I would rather not pull a D1. No, Sukuna being below Gojo.
That's the stuff that you sent. Yeah, that's the stuff that you were asking for.
Yeah, Sukuna being below Gojo in efficiency makes sense. Yeah, is that correlated to the domain stuff, or I don't
know why he said. I thought that's what you were asking.
I can't read it, but if he's saying it's just the Gojo being or Sukuna being less efficient than Gojo, then yeah, it should be pretty obvious. So what did you think implied Yuki had some high level of refinement? Is it just that? Did you ever send the Kenjaku thing that you were talking about, where it says that if had you used it, it would have done
I know
better?
I can get that for you. Yeah, I got that scan on standby. I'm trying to get the limit. He's not as good as Gojo scan real quick, but I have that one on standby, so I'll get that in a second. Yeah, found it.
Yuki's domain. We plan for Sukuna to counter his domain expansion with a simple domain. The simple domain was torn apart in the blink of an eye. If she expanded her own domain, it wouldn't have been a true domain battle in that circumstance. Oh. Yeah, all they say is that if Yuki expanded her domain, there would have been like some level of domain clash, which is fine.
No, that's not what I'm talking about. I'll get my own scan on that one because I'm not even sure what he's sending. I'm still looking for the original scan. Let me just get my scans in order.
All right.
Wait, what did that one even say? Yeah, I can't even find this scan again. This shit in blah blah blah. So I'll post it elsewhere. I posted the first scan in there of him stating that he doesn't have as good of a purple, and then I'm about to post the second scan of him saying he has difficulty with his arms, the legs, and the use of the curse technique.
Implies that he's less efficient. That's what you're talking about. Okay.
Yeah, like he's not able to make as good of a purple with the amount of cursed energy built up. And then he just straight up says, even with the 6 eyes, he has a really hard time utilizing the curse techniques.
Yeah, I think that could just be due to a lack of familiarity. We know he hasn't really practiced the Limitless particularly. Like he's like misfiring the technique and shit like that. That wouldn't be attributed to efficiency. Efficiency, as we've like discussed so far, is just like curse energy expenditure, like how much you use to achieve a result. He's having a hard time achieving the result at all, and it's not attributed to how much curse energy he has to use. He just can't fucking do it because he's unfamiliar.
I mean, I don't see why being unfamiliar would mean that he can't make as strong of a hollow purple. Like if you're saying that efficiency is just by virtue of the 6 eyes, but even with the 6 eyes, he's not able to make as good of a hollow purple because he's not able to master the technique. His ability to fight with the 6 eyes should just be like if it's just the 6 eyes, it shouldn't matter who utilizes 6 eyes. He should still be able to make those types of hollow purple because 6 eyes is what enables the efficiency. That's what he said.
Well, yeah, but what the issue with the hollow purple is not an issue of efficiency. It's I'll just give you an analogy. Essentially, basically with any skill in the real world, like shooting a basketball, for example, the less familiar you are with basically anything involved with shooting a basketball, the worse you're going to be, presumably, at shooting a basketball than somebody who is more familiar. This is true of basically any skill that we can observe should map onto curse techniques, presumably. The guy hasn't really made purples, made blues, made reds, so it makes sense why he can't do it as well as Gojo. This is not to speak to efficiency. Rather, I think it makes more sense to say unfamiliarity, because when we get the description, or multiple descriptions of Gojo's efficiency, it's almost always attributed to 6 eyes. It's because he has the 6 eyes, he does this, that, and the third.
Right, and then he says even with the 6 eyes, he can't do it. He says Gojo Sensei has abnormally long arms and legs, and Limitless Curse technique always looks so omnipotent, but it's way harder to use than I thought. There's no way I could master it after a single replacement. He misfired. No wonder he uses 6 eyes. So even shit like him trying to use the pull is not able to do shit to Sukuna. It like jerks him to the side and catches his attention. It's not as strong as Gojo's is. He says, how long did Gojo Sensei train before he could say I'm the strongest? Sukuna thinks he seems to be having difficulties with a hard to control curse technique. Jaku told me that a coach's curse technique is copy. All that shit doesn't matter. Blah blah blah. Even if I grasp the other curse techniques, no one is benefit. I already have that. Yeah, so he just can't use it. He said, and then Gojo criticizes him. He says, Yoda, your curse energy is imprecise. So it is directly talking about how much control and energy they use.
Well, yeah, control is entirely different to efficiency as we've defined it. So this seems to be more in line with my viewers. He's not used to basically all the relevant factors, as opposed to like he's just inefficient with them. Because it doesn't ever speak to expenditure. What'd you say?
That's what it says. I think that's just what it says. I think we move on.
Okay, yeah, we're going to move on past that point.
The final point is we talked about all the Maki scaling. Are you fine with Yuta and Yuki both scaling above Maki?
Yuta and Yuki, is it just because she says that like they might need to team up because Yuki lost?
No, it's when Tengen is choosing people to protect him. He says the cursed painting, and then Yuta or Yuki, you two need to stay to defend me from Tengen. Not Tengen, from Kenjaku. And then what's his name? Chozo pretty much says I'd get in the way, which implies that he would be a non-factor. So he's like, I want one of you two to defend me. Maki doesn't fucking matter.
Do you think that's like entirely new to strength, or do you think it's some level of compatibility with Kenjaku's arsenal? Like in the sense that Yuta and Yuki can expand domains to interact with his domain, while Maki can't.
Well, I don't think that they knew that Kenjaku had an open domain. So Maki would have really been the best pick if she was able to scrap with him, because his domain's technique wouldn't be able to target her.
I agree, but that also leaves Tengen vulnerable in the sense that she can't protect Tengen by clashing with his domain. While if like Yuki or Yuta clash with the domain,
it doesn't matter about the clashing domain, because Tengen's like, don't expand your domain because I'm gonna do it. So Tengen's entire purpose in that situation is to expand her domain to block his domain.
Well, she uses simple domain, which is like the more so what I'm talking about, which her and Yuta can use. Maki can't. So she can like take the matter. Of the sure hit. Well, Maki can't.
That wouldn't matter, because the sure hit wouldn't be able to affect her.
The sure hit wouldn't be able to. Yeah, I know, but we're talking about protecting Tengen here, so we need somebody to nullify the sure hit while Tengen dismantles it.
Right. That's the point. Tengen's not caught into the fucking domain expansion. Like, they're not in that room.
Yeah, but
they're not
Maki
caught in that domain expansion.
Maki has no way to stall the guy. Their plan is to dismantle his domain.
She stalls him by beating the fuck out of him. She stalls him by fighting him.
I don't even know if she scales to Kenjaku, obviously, because we both.
That's my point. That's my point. That Yuta and Yuki are above her.
Yuki like sort of contextually. She scales in AP, and the other stats I'm not like entirely sure, but we don't really like get into that. I gotta go in like 2 minutes, but I'll wrap up this point by saying like. Essentially, once again, like Maki presumably doesn't have any means by which she can stall him. He just wouldn't even open his domain if she's not getting hit by it. You just close it without it being dismantled, so it doesn't lose the curse energy spent there. So their plan kind of falls apart.
Right. So why would he not open the domain?
Because it can't hit her.
You said that's yeah, exactly. So I think that proves that he would just be in a fight, and she's just like, I don't think you scale to them. So. She's saying, even if he didn't have to open his domain and it was just a scrap, I think that you lose. Versus Yuki is able to overwhelm him, or Yuta would be able to hold him down. Both of those people would be able to do something, as opposed to Maki not being able to do something. We both agree.
Well, we agree in the sense that they can do something that she can't, but we disagree as to what that is. But I think we can leave that point there, essentially.
All right, and then let me get the scan real quick, since we're rushing. Let me get the scan of saying that she should have opened her domain. And then I'll get you for the speed scaling. I'll get you. There's a statement where he's like, she can barely move, and she's still able to like lay into his ass.
Are you just arguing stuff for like Yuki, Relic, and
for Yuki's stat? Yeah. Well, I don't think she's real. I think she's significantly faster, because when they're base to base, like fresh out. He pretty much just gets fucking punched in his head and is like, okay, I have to use my domain expansion. And then even when she's weakened and can barely move, she's able to press the fuck out of him.
Yeah, I'm leaving all that stuff like that's cool. We can just leave like that broader point, like contingent upon if Maki is weaker than Yuki, like this we just talked about. Because I don't have time to argue all that right now.
Okay, so you're fine with all that?
Yeah, we'll just like leave it on if she does scale or whatever, we'll just leave it contingent on whether Yuki does scale above Maki by virtue of what you argued, essentially.
Okay. And then is there anything else I need to talk about?
I think we both established basically are you fine with 15 finger over Kenjaku?
Am I fine with 15 finger over Kenjaku? I think that they're relative.
Kenjaku's like sweating and shitting himself when Gojo shows up and Sukuna's able to clash with him.
Yeah, 15 finger Sukuna. Yes, the 16, that's a full power Sukuna that fights with Gojo. That's like 5 extra fingers. 4 extra fingers plus a dead body.
Wait, no, he doesn't have... No. He doesn't have 20 at that point at all.
When he clashes with Gojo?
Yeah, it's when Gojo first gets unsealed and goes to pull up on Kenjaku. The Sukuna that clashes with him is not 20 finger. It's before he eats the head or anything
I
like
don't
that. It's just
what do you mean they clash? Like a fucking like what are you talking about?
they just clash physically in the air.
Yeah, can you show me
Like
that?
Sukuna's able to
he,
avoid his blue, and then they clash.
Gojo's trying to beat the fuck out of him.
Yeah, Gojo's trying to. Well, his goal there is to kill Kenjaku, and because of Sukuna's presence, he's like, I'm good off that now.
Yeah, where he makes fun of Sukuna. He's like, "Didn't your pussy ass just run from Yuji the other day?" I don't think he was serious about that.
Serious about what? He's serious isn't.
I don't think that he intended to like fight to the death with Sukuna right then and there because he had things to do. That's what he says.
Okay, Gojo
What
uses
chapter is it? 225.
Yeah, Kenjaku gets blown back and shits himself, and Sukuna just avoids that shit, runs up and clashes with him.
Well, no. They're not clashing. They're just like they jumped in front of each other.
What do you think they're doing with their arms out at the end?
I have no idea. But there's not even impact markers. They're not even touching each other. I have no
Also,
idea what
isn't
they're
it
doing.
stated? Well, I don't. There's like sound effects there, but isn't it stated verbatim that Sukuna's job is to protect Kenjaku? Pretty sure that's just stated verbatim. Even 15 finger.
I don't know if that. What chapter is this? If you just tell me if someone tells me the chapter, I can just go get it.
I have no idea, but let me see if Haram, do you have the statement that just says like Sukuna is like protecting Kenjaku or like that's his purpose or whatever? Okay, thank you. If I had left Sukuna's side, I'd been killed, or I'd already have been killed by Gojo Satoru. Yeah, so he needs Sukuna to protect him from Gojo there.
Yeah, I don't think that means he's as strong as Gojo.
Wait, the argument isn't that Sukuna's as strong as Gojo, it's just that he's stronger than Kenjaku because he's protecting him. Just also off visual portrayal, he seems to perform better against Gojo.
Yeah.
Okay, then we can leave it at that. Good debate.
I'm fine with him being. No, I'm not. We're not leaving it at that. I still have things to say.
Oh my, bro! I have like maybe like 2 minutes.
I told you not to fucking sit around and be like, oh, because I don't like cutting it off in the end. But we can continue at a later date. But I'm not fucking with you being just like I'm done with that because I still have things to say and I like my conclusions.
Okay, if you want to. I assume you're not going to be free later today. I'm off completely tomorrow. If you want to like just continue like the last bit and give conclusions, does that sound good?
Tomorrow,
I'm off Tuesday as well. So if either of those work for you, like at basically any time.
let me see. Let me check. Actually, we can just conclude now. Yeah, actually, okay. Let's just finish it now.
Okay.
Do you have time for conclusions or no?
If you want to give your conclusion, if I feel like I need to give one, I will. You can go ahead and get yours out of the way, though.
All right. In conclusion, I pretty much proved that there was someone like Maki who's able to remain relative with 15 fingers. I don't believe that your curse energy output has a considerable amount of effect on your physicality. And in that instance, I don't think that his curse energy was being dropped every time he got into a physical exchange, especially so when he says it fluctuates and at its lowest, it's at 10%, but it primarily seems to go down when he's utilizing a curse technique. He says this when he's trying to slash Maki and Yuji. I proved that a Yuki that was barely able to move was able to overwhelm and outspeed a Kenjaku and completely press him. And Kenjaku has received a certain degree of relativity towards most other of the special grades. In regards to the AP, I pretty much showed that she can one-shot someone on the level of Kenjaku who Sukuna, 15-finger Sukuna, is dubiously stronger than versus Yuki, who has shown the ability to completely one-shot Kenjaku and just completely outspeed him when he's weakened. My opponent argued that 15-finger Sukuna was nebulously above Kenjaku, while I've proven that Yuki is significantly faster and stronger than he is. In regards to the domain, that's pretty much just going to be complexity. And Kenjaku, who's one of the top tiers in domain, said that Yuki probably could have done something if she popped her domain. I think that's pretty much it. I think that Yuki is just going to punch Yorozu's head off before she can put on the insect armor, as I said earlier. And all Yorozu is like arguably inferior to 15 Finger Sukuna in base. So that's pretty much all I have to say.
Okay, to get into my stuff, I think it's successfully proved, I guess, that Bug Armor Yorozu should scale considerably over 15 Finger Sukuna, and even at her base, she's like maintains relativity in certain stats, particularly speed. As for her AP, both parties granted that at the very least with her her ultimate attack, or whatever, she should be able to kill Yuki pretty easily. In terms of all the other points, I feel like I successfully defeated the idea that Maki should scale to Sukuna. As again, we know Sukuna's output is fluctuating, so this would explain some sorts of disparity in performance, and would give us reason to value the performances that do seem like outspeedings or outstattings. On top of them, just generally seem to perform better. It also seems to be the case that I've given an adequate explanation as to why Maki would not be inferior to Yuki with regards to physicals or whatever, but would be I guess less suited to fight Kenjaku for reasons that are shown in the fight. Those being she can't really interact with this domain expansion. He'd have no reason to use it generally. Trying to think if there's any other major points. Oh yeah, we talked about the Curse Energy output stuff. Both parties granted, obviously, that output does affect your stats. It's in the Sukuna, being nerfed, whatever. When talking about expansion, we know that all it's really stated is that Yuki potentially could have done something there, but we know there's multiple factors that play into expansion, such as things that aren't refinement. We know Kenjaku stated to be in the top 3 of refinement. The statement gets brought up. I think that's really all there is to it. Seems like we have good reason to believe that Yorozu outstats both physically and has superior Curse Energy output, so should be able to win the fight by expanding domain and one-shotting Yuki. That's really all there is.
Alright, good debate, guys. I'll give my judgment and just
Yeah,
overall
good debate.
wrap up on
Yeah, good debate, man.
What?
I think you guys. I think you guys.
Shut up, BB.
Had a really good point. I noticed
Oh my
Aeroflame
God.
dropped a lot of the points.
All right, I gotta head out. Good debate, Arrow, man.
Yeah, good debate. 6 still on call. First judgment.
Where even has it? Recording goes to Plash soon, I'm assuming, because it's good to see uploads. I'm gonna drop it down to the VC, then close the stage. Get the big guys.
Alright, bet.
Let it get a little chaotic.